Hello, this year, as always, is Ilui Nishmas, Rachalei Bas Rav Chaim Tzvi. All of these shiurim should be an aliyah to her neshama. It's quite something to think what's happening for her as you listen. In any case, today what we're going to be talking about is Tu B'Shvat. So the first thing we have to talk about when speaking about Tu B'Shvat is what is it really? Okay, the Mishnah tells us that there are 4 times of the year that could be called Rosh Hashanah. Now, of course, we're familiar with Rosh Hashanah for us, when Hashem judges every human being. Why are we concerned with Rosh Hashanah for trees? So the idea, in a simple sense, is that in Halacha, when the Beis HaMikdash was still standing, it was relevant to be able to have an arbitrary time when we'll count the life of a tree. The reason for this was there are different halachot that have to do with trees in terms of Shemitah, in terms of Neteravai, where you have to say a tree age. The other age is obligated in this, that, and the other gift. But clearly, there's more there. Because the Beis HaMikdash is no longer with us. And yet we find in the Sifrei Halacha, not only in the Sifrei Kabbalah, as some people mistakenly think, but in Pri Megadim, in Shulchan Aruch Harav, that Tu B'Shvat is mentioned. So why are we concerned with this? So we're going to approach this question from several different angles. Okay, one angle is that a person is compared to a tree. Let's look at what a tree actually is. It has roots, it has a trunk, it has branches that grow upward, and fruit. So, the first thing I'm going to talk about, as I said, we're going to angle, is what Rab Chal says about the difference between Jews and other people. So he speaks about the era before Avraham as the era of roots. Meaning that people were defining reality in those early generations. Then you have Avraham coming on the scene and giving definition to what the world is in a way that nobody had before him. Now the fact is, of course, Adam knew Hashem. Certainly Noach knew Hashem. Noach was a tzaddik. But nobody knew Hashem in the way Avraham did. Meaning Avraham saw that the earth itself nurtures spiritual growth. So unlike other spiritual thinkers of his time even, such as Metushelach, who abandoned the world to live the life of a hermit, Avraham said, this world could be uplifted, this world could be something. So from Avraham we get the trunk, the visible side of spiritual progression. But what you find then is that not everyone followed this path. So they followed the path of their own roots, their own perceptions. Different trees were grown. So what you have is that from Avram's tree comes branches and sub-branches, but they're all part of one reality. So the Jewish people have a distinct reality, even though at the beginning anyone could have adhered to the truth to this tree in the era of roots. So what does this mean concretely? Sometimes we have doubts about what our identity is. There are Jews who are so involved in Judaism that it defines every moment of their day. And there are people who are so distant that they're like a top branch on the tree that you could crack it off and the tree itself seems fine. But the idea is that we are one people, and we all draw our spiritual energy from one source. So when you're talking from that perspective about the Rosh Hashanah of trees, in many ways it's the Rosh Hashanah of our identity, which requires our thought on this day. Taking this idea a bit deeper. Again, roots, trunk, fruit. What's a person's roots? So some of our roots are our history in the past. Some of the roots, however, are meant to be the inherent emunah. The Baal HaTanya says is the ultimate definition of what every Jew is. So he points out that what we see historically is that sometimes there were Jews who gave their lives, which isn't a simple thing, who gave their lives to remain Jewish, who were simple people. So, if you were to take the whole cast of Fiddler on the Roof, realize Muttle the tailor, the whole bunch of them, even the socialist, they all could have made their lives easier by converting to the Eastern Church. And they wouldn't have had to be religious or devout. They could have said a few words and it would all be over. All the persecutions, the pogroms, the horror. They didn't do it. So the answer there is that there's something within us